Pandemic. The images coming in. Crowds packing beaches. A massive party overflowing with people. Boardwalks packed, most not wearing masks and ignoring social distancing rules. At least 8 states now showing an increase of cases. The warning from one of the Trump administration's top health advisors, Dr. Deborah Birx, saying it's difficult to tell if a second wave of the virus will force the country to close again. President Trump insisting there will be no second shutdown. And the haunting front page, 1,000 names long, the New York Times paying tribute to victims of the COVID-19 pandemic. Also breaking tonight, armed and dangerous, the urgent manhunt for a murder suspect on the run. Authorities believe he may have crossed state lines. A college student suspected of killing at least one person, allegedly stealing guns and a car. Police discovering the vehicle just a short time ago. Tornado outbreak, at least 18 reported tornadoes across 7 states. Homes and businesses destroyed. The new storm threat tonight and into Memorial Day. Rob Marciano timing it all out.
And liftoff.
The right stuff. Tonight, the countdown to a historic mission, America's return to space. A closer look at the SpaceX rocket. We'll take you inside the capsule, plus meet the 2 astronauts leading the charge into the cosmos. Game on. Professional sports bouncing back. Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson teeing off in a $10 million COVID relief match. The NBA in talks to resume its season. Pro teams now allowed to open training camps in New York State. Governor Cuomo cheering them on. And messages of love. A mother-to-be in the hospital and the expectant father outside her window, separated but never apart.
From ABC News, this is ABC World News Tonight.
And good evening. Thanks for joining us on this Sunday of Memorial Day weekend. I'm Tom Yamas. We begin tonight with America at the threshold of a heartbreaking milestone. The Memorial Day holiday becoming especially poignant. Nearly 100,000 lives lost to the coronavirus pandemic in this country alone. More than 97,000 deaths in the U.S. right now. Cases of COVID-19 on the rise in at least 8 states, including Alabama, Arkansas, and the Carolinas. Late today, President Trump issuing a new COVID-19 travel ban, blocking non-U.S. citizens traveling from Brazil, which is now just behind the U.S. in number of cases. The New York Times with a powerful front page, the names of 1,000 victims, 1% of the lives taken. Startling images. Take a look at this. The pool party drawing a massive crowd at Missouri's Lake of the Ozarks with absolutely no signs of masks or social distancing. Images of packed beaches this weekend. Police patrolling Daytona Beach trying to keep people separated. And Arlington National Cemetery preparing to honor America's fallen heroes while in the middle of the pandemic. ABC's Trevor Ault on the Jersey Shore to lead us off.
Lockdown Americans flocking to beaches, boardwalks, and boats this Memorial Day weekend, many defying social distancing guidelines recommended by health experts. This pool party in Missouri's Lake of the Ozarks packed to the brim, very few people wearing masks.
Happy that a lot of people are out, maybe dangerous, but we'll see the cases when we see this weekend over.
In Ocean City, Maryland, thousands filling up the boardwalk.
It's really crowded. It's beautiful out. You know, it's fun. Everybody's having fun.
Aerial images from Florida showing people swarming the streets of Daytona Beach.
There's 2 people out the sunroof throwing money.
Police referring to the scene as a gauntlet.
This type of behavior is unacceptable. We don't want people coming to our city, disrupting our city.
And outside this water park, extensive lines of people crammed together, waiting to get in.
But right now, I'm absolutely frightened, like frightened. As you can see, nobody is social distancing.
Across the country, at least 8 states are seeing an increase in new reported cases right now. Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson saying a high school pool party led to a second spike in the state. But with most businesses fully reopened, he says we have to manage the risk.
We're not going to be cloistered in our home. That's contrary to the American spirit.
Missouri health officials say a pair of hairstylists returned to work with COVID symptoms and have now tested positive, potentially exposing more than 140 customers to the virus.
But I'm going to be honest with you. We can't have many more of these.
Today, President Trump hitting the golf course for the second day in a row and once again saying America must reopen.
We did the right thing, and now we're doing the right thing by getting it going, getting it open. We have to open.
The president has vowed the country will not lock down again, even if there's a second wave. But Dr. Deborah Birx says it's possible the country may need to close again.
We're trying to understand during this period of coming out of the closure, how do we maintain openness and safety? And I think that's what we're going to be learning through May, June, and July.
And tonight, the cruel toll of the pandemic. The New York Times with a staggering front page, the names of 1,000 people killed as the number of dead Americans nears 100,000. And with more Americans now heading out, Ohio Governor Mike DeWine stressing the importance of wearing masks and public safety over politics.
This is not about whether you're liberal or conservative, left or right, Republican, Democrat. You wear the mask not to protect yourself so much as to protect others.
And looking ahead, Las Vegas Casino set to reopen June 4th, but it won't be business as usual. Casinos will be disinfecting dice and retooling card games and slot machines to promote social distancing.
Whether it's in the hotel, the gaming floor, food and beverage. And they're going to see a lot of hand sanitizer.
All right, Las Vegas looking to reopen. Trevor Ault joins us now from Long Branch on the Jersey Shore. The beach is open there, and we see the boardwalk is getting busy. I want to get back to that breaking news we mentioned at the top of the broadcast. A new travel ban has just been issued by the White House.
That's right, Tom. So the Trump administration has just announced it's suspending entry for any non-U.S. citizen coming from Brazil, which is a coronavirus hotspot right now. It has more confirmed cases than any other country in the world outside of the United States. Brazil now joins China and Europe on the list of banned locations. Tom?
Trevor Ault with that breaking news tonight. All right, Trevor, thank you. Churches and houses of worship facing a difficult decision, many choosing to reopen after President Trump declared them essential. Some churches reopening in defiance of state rules, many religious leaders keeping their doors closed, believing the risk to the congregation outweighs the call to worship in person. Here's ABC's Rachel Scott.
Houses of worship opening up their doors this Sunday after President Trump's warning to state leaders.
Allow these very important, essential places of faith to open right now for this weekend. If they don't do it, I will override the governors.
His authority to do so is unclear, but it was just the message some pastors were waiting for.
We would like to thank our president today.
In Berlin, New Jersey, a socially distanced service at Solid Rock Baptist Church.
I know it's hard to sing through the mask, but you're going to be okay.
Defied the governor's state orders. The congregation joining together in song, despite the CDC cautioning that singing might contribute to the spread of the virus. The pastor threatening to sue the governor, among many state leaders not easing their restrictions.
We want to make sure we do it right, responsibly, and that we don't kill anybody by doing it too fast.
Houses of worship can be hotspots for virus spread. Here in D.C., Bishop Dwayne Royster telling me black communities already devastated by the coronavirus cannot afford any more suffering.
What's at risk is probably doing a bunch of funerals. What's at risk is a bunch of folk winding up in the hospital.
And as Muslims around the world celebrate Eid, the end of the holy month of Ramadan, leaders are still encouraging social distancing.
This isn't a political game. This is people's lives, so we want to make sure that we're as safe as possible.
And Tom, Dr. Deborah Birx said many regions, including right here in D.C., are still seeing a high number of positive coronavirus infections and might want to hold off before reopening those places of worship, especially when many asymptomatic people may appear to be healthy but actually have the virus and could be spreading it unknowingly. Tom?
Still so many warnings. All right, Rachel, thank you. We move on now to that urgent manhunt at this hour, now crossing state lines. Authorities searching for a murder suspect from Connecticut, a college student considered armed and dangerous. Police say he's now wanted in connection with 2 deaths. Here's ABC's Ariel Reshef.
Tonight, an urgent manhunt across state lines for this homicide suspect who police say is armed and extremely dangerous.
We're actively and continuously looking for this individual.
Authorities discovering this black Volkswagen Jetta in New Jersey at the Pennsylvania border. The suspect, 23-year-old University of Connecticut senior Peter Manfredonia, believed to have fled Connecticut. Authorities say he is wanted in connection to 2 deaths. This morning, police responding to a call in Willington, where officials say a homeowner was held against his will. The suspect allegedly taking food, firearms, and a truck, which he later abandoned. Police say he then went to a home of an acquaintance where authorities discovered a deceased male.
We are investigating all the possible leads that we have.
The search for man dying from his wounds.
Nothing like this has ever happened, and you can't ask for a better family.
Suspect may be armed with a pistol and long guns. They say if you see him, do not approach him and call 911 immediately. Tom?
Ariel Reshef with that developing story tonight. Ariel, thank you. Now to the severe storms this holiday weekend. A tornado outbreak across 7 states. Take a look at this. At least 18 tornadoes reported in the last 24 hours. A twister tearing the roof off of a home just outside of Iowa City. Lightning shooting across the sky in the Texas Panhandle. A severe weather threat tonight from Texas to Iowa. Here's ABC meteorologist Rob Marciano.
There it is, it's on the ground.
Tonight, severe holiday weekend storms slamming the Midwest and South. At least 18 reported tornadoes across 7 states. This dangerous twister caught on camera outside Iowa City. The strong winds ripping the roof off a home and tossing debris into the air.
Oh, there goes the roof of their house. We got to get out of here.
In Illinois, torrential rains and high winds southwest of Chicago. Joliet enduring a heavy downpour of hail as well. Down in Texas, this dramatic display of lightning across the Panhandle, while residents in Bowie, Texas are spending the holiday weekend cleaning up after an EF1 tornado with winds up to 95 miles per hour ripped through.
Just flabbergasted that it could hit so fast and hit so hard and do so much destruction.
All right, let's get right to Rob with the Memorial Day forecast. Rob, good evening.
Good evening, Tom. So many people at risk for severe storms this weekend, and tonight especially from Texas. Take a look all the way up into Iowa, which got hit already. And we have a number of severe weather watch boxes out for damaging winds, large hail, and can't rule out an isolated tornado. Put the maps into motion, and we not only have the damaging wind threat tonight and tomorrow, but a heavy rain threat for Texas and Florida. You just can't catch a break. Maybe 8 to 10 inches more for southeast Florida there. And at the end of this weekend, we're looking for the start of another heat wave for California. Sacramento will be up and over 100 degrees and even hotter than that for dangerous heat through the midweek. Tom?
Okay, Rob, thank you for that. Next tonight, America's return to space. NASA and SpaceX teaming up for Wednesday's historic mission, sending 2 astronauts to the International Space Station, the first such launch in nearly a decade. And now the president wants to be there. Tonight, as America prepares to launch back into space, President Trump and Vice President Pence scheduled to travel to the Kennedy Space Center on Wednesday to watch liftoff. The joint venture between NASA and Elon Musk's SpaceX will be the first time astronauts launch into orbit from U.S. soil in nearly a decade, all happening from Launch Pad 39A, the site from which many Apollo and Space Shuttle missions were launched. Americans shooting into the sky on the SpaceX Falcon 9, a 229-foot-tall rocket with reusable boosters, lowering the cost of spaceflight. It's already made numerous trips to space, delivering satellites and cargo. And the name Falcon comes from another famous spacecraft.
Both strap yourselves in. I'm going to make the jump to light speed.
An homage to Han Solo's Millennium Falcon from Star Wars. And as NASA celebrates the 50th anniversary of Apollo, the Dragon spacecraft also cruising the cosmos as a capsule. But this time, everything is touchscreen. It's 13 feet in diameter, about 27 feet high. The name of the spaceship will be revealed on launch day. As for the Dragon crew, they are 2 of NASA's veterans. Bob Behnken, 49 years old, a father and married to an astronaut. He spent more than 700 hours in space, 37 of them on spacewalks.
I think continuing to push into space challenges us as Americans, challenges us as scientists and engineers, and I think that continued push is important.
Joining Behnken is Doug Hurley, the spacecraft commander on this mission. 53 years old, also a father, and also married to an astronaut. He was the pilot on the last space shuttle mission back in 2011.
The ultimate goal for us as astronauts and test pilots is just to go up there and prove out the vehicle, prove out the mission, not make a mistake.
And as we told you last night, the 2 are being kept under strict quarantine for the launch in the middle of this pandemic. The men have been tested twice for COVID-19. They'll be tested once more before liftoff.
I hope the nation can look at this and recognize that this is something we're still going to accomplish. This is still something that we're going to still be successful at.
And we will be watching and covering every angle. ABC News and ABC News Live are partnering with Nat Geo to provide live coverage. I'll be joined by Lindsay Davis and several astronauts for the launch. That's Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern. Now to the coronavirus behind a